And I believe we are live. Hi, I am Kelly Shaw, and I am the creator and moderator of Ladies Dream Golf, which is a fantasy golf site and also a fan community, both revolving around the LPGA. And tonight we are going to be kicking off our 2016 season, which is actually our 4th season. Isn't that hard to believe, Beth?
It is. It's amazing. Yeah.
It really is. And I think this is going to be the best season ever. I really do. Before I get too far down the road, I want to let the audience out there know that you can participate in this Hangout by asking questions or posting comments. And there's 2 ways you can do that. The first way is if you're on the Google Plus event page and you're logged into Google, you can post your questions directly there. And I see we already have a couple of comments. And Daryl, I'm so glad that you were able to stay awake for this. I hope you really are out there. And so that's one way to post questions and comments. The other way is via Twitter. And if you're going to use Twitter, I have my handy dandy little, can you guys see that? Use the hashtag LDG Hangout. If you use that hashtag in your tweet, the questions will come up here and I can see them. So we'll try to get to those questions and comments later in the presentation, so please keep those coming. So let me give you a quick overview of our agenda for tonight. It's a pretty full agenda. So first I'm going to very briefly introduce this amazing group of panelists that I have tonight, and then I'm going to jump into a short presentation that gives an overview of the fantasy golf games that we're going to be running this year, and that'll kind of lay the groundwork for me to reintroduce the panel in a little bit more detailed way. And then we'll spend the rest of the time just with discussion and a little bit of Q&A. So our first quick introductions, I'd like to introduce Beth Bethel. Beth is a longtime member and very good friend of Ladies Dream Golf. She's also an editor at ProGolfNow.com, and she has her own personal blog called Staying in the Short Grass, right?
You got it. Yeah.
So it's really good to see you, Beth. It's been way too long.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kelly.
Sure. And now I'd like to introduce the pro golfers on our panel. And I'd like to say that Alexandra Cossey, who was supposed to be here, isn't gonna make it tonight. So she was having some Wi-Fi issues. So she will definitely be missed. But I'm extremely happy to have 2 other Symetra Tour players with us tonight, who are going to be a big part of Ladies Dream Golf this year. And I'll explain the specifics of that just a little bit later. But first we have Brittany Benvenuto, who is coming to us from Phoenix, Arizona, right?
Yep.
And Allie White. And Allie, I know you're in Ohio. What town are you in Ohio?
Lancaster, Ohio. It's a beauty.
All right. So we are going to be talking to both Brittany and Allie in depth in just a little bit. But I'm going to ask the 3 of you to sit tight for just a few minutes while I give this short presentation. And you're going to have to give me just a minute because I'm actually going to switch over, if I can remember how to do this. I'm going to switch over to share my screen. And I'm just going to do entire screen. And you guys are going to have to tell me if this works.
Yep.
Can you see my screen?
It's working.
Okay, so you can see something that says Ladies Dream Golf. Welcome to the 2016 season. All right, so we are going to be running 2 games this season, as we did last year. There's going to be a few little changes, and so let me just go through that. The first game is Make the Cut. Now, we introduced this game last year for the first time, so this will be the 2nd year for Make the Cut. It was a really popular game. It's a season-long game, and so it's the kind of game you have to get in at the beginning in order to participate. And I know a lot of people missed out last year, so I hope everyone jumps in and gets in this year. It's a pretty simple concept. You choose 1 player from the field before each LPGA tournament. If the player that you pick makes the cut, so do you. If your pro misses the cut, so do you, and you're out of the game. So very simple. There is a catch. You can only pick each LPGA pro once during the season. So Beth, I know you're dying to pick Lydia Ko every single week, but I'm not going to let you do that. So that's what makes it challenging. Now, the last surviving entry wins $250. So not too shabby. It's $5 per entry, and each fantasy golfer can have up to 10 entries. Now, you can think of each entry as a separate participant. They're not related to each other. So the idea there is, instead of, if you only had one entry and your player missed the cut in the first week, it'd be kind of sad. You wouldn't get to play the rest of the season. So you can have more than one entry just so that you can keep on playing if one of your entries gets cut. And let's see, as I said before, you need to register prior to the start of the season. And the ladies are teeing off on January 28th with the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. So you have from now until January 28th at 7 a.m. to sign up for Make the Cut. So let me go to the next game. So the next game we'll be running is called Pick 4. Now this game I've been running from the very beginning, since year one. And it's a very simple game, but it's a lot of fun. In this game, what I do is I take the entire field and I sort them by their Rolex rankings. And then I split them into 4 groups. And so then you just go out and pick one player from each group. And after the tournament, you earn 1 point for each dollar that your players collectively earn. And there is a bonus if all 4 of your players make the cut. Now what's changing is we're going to have 3 participation options this year. The first participation option should look familiar because Pick 4 has been free all along up until this year. And it's still free if you want to play for bragging rights. Okay? But if you want to get a little skin in the game and be eligible for some cash prizes, there's going to be a pay-as-you-go option. So for $3 per tournament, you can be eligible for the $100 cash prize for that tournament. And you can mix it up. If you're feeling lucky one week, you can go ahead and do the pay-as-you-go option. If you want to play a free option the next week, you can do that. So it's totally up to you. But let's look behind door number 3. The third option is
a season pass.
So if you pay for a season pass up front, that covers you for all 33 tournaments of the season. And it saves you just a little bit of money. Now, I'm going to make the season pass available all the way up until March 31st. So if you want to try a couple of free tournaments just to see how it goes, you can do that. But you can still save yourself a little money going into the season if you go ahead and get that season pass. Now, the other thing that the season pass does for you is it covers you for all the Pick 4 cash prizes. Now, let me tell you what all those prizes are, because I've only mentioned one so far. I only mentioned the $100 per tourney cash prize. So there's the $100 per tourney cash prize, and there's 33 tournaments. I also split the season up into 3 segments of 11 tournaments each. And so the overall winner for each segment will win $150.
Ooh.
And then the overall season winner will win $250.
Ooh.
Now, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure I've got that wrapped up. Easy. I don't think the people out there need to worry about the grand prize.
So now, and I do want to mention now that Allie has mentioned it, is the pros are eligible for these prizes.
That's right.
And they will be playing along with us. So let me just mention really quick. If you get the season pass, you will be eligible for all of those prizes. Now, if you do the pay-as-you-go, you're only eligible, let's say, for the segment prize, you're only eligible if you pay for all 11 tournaments in that segment. So If you get the season pass and you forget to play 1 week, you're still covered. Okay, so just want to make that clear. And I've already mentioned the make the cut. So if you add all this up, this is $4,250 worth of prizes. So
Ooh.
we're talking some cash here. So let me go back and stop sharing my screen. Am I back?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So the reason I wanted to give that presentation real quick is to, like I said, just kind of give a little bit of background. Obviously the big change here is the addition of the cash options. And so I wanted to explain the reasons that I'm moving in that direction. Number one, I actually had a lot of people ask for that. A lot of people thought it would add a fun element to the game to have cash prizes, and I tend to agree. But I did want to leave the free option for those who want to play for bragging rights, and so that still is an option. But the primary motivation in adding the cash options is really to establish a sustainable cash flow model for Ladies Dream Golf to be able to sponsor Symetra Tour players, and really to be able to sponsor them in an impactful way. So you can think of Ladies Dream Golf now as a crowdfunding site of sorts, but with perks. You get to play some fun fantasy golf. You get to be part of a really cool community that includes pro golfers, and the possibility of winning some cash prizes. And I do want to emphasize that all the money collected from the entry fees after the prizes will go directly to the pro player sponsorship. Okay, we're not trying to make any money here.
What about our tickets to Tahiti?
Beth, don't mention that.
Okay. Sorry.
So now, those of you who have been involved with Ladies Dream Golf in the past know that we pretty much adopted Alexandra Kasi as our resident pro back in 2013, and she has been our resident pro ever since. Her and I talked kind of towards the end of last season, and we decided together that it would be really good for Ladies Dream Golf to move forward sponsoring a different player each season, and one, to kind of expand our reach and to bring more fantasy golfers into our community, but also to allow us to get to know more golfers and get to know these up-and-coming pros and get to hear more of their stories. So I really want to thank Alex for being so gracious about passing the baton, so to speak. And she was actually the one who helped me identify other Symetra players who were interested in being part of Ladies Dream Golf. So thank you, Alex, for that. So with that, I want to reintroduce our pros with a little bit more fanfare. So here we go. The first player that I'd like to reintroduce finished 21st on the Symetra Tour money list in 2015. She played in every single tournament that the Symetra Tour put on last year. She had 4 top 10 finishes, 3 of which were top 5s, and only 4 missed cuts. She also won 2 very prestigious awards at the end of 2015, the Symetra Rising Star and the Annika Academy Elite Athlete Award. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our resident pro for 2016, Brittany Benvenuto.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay,
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. I didn't know if I was muted. That was a very nice introduction. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I am just so excited to be a part of Ladies Dream Golf. I met Kelly and back at the very first tournament that Symetra had last year, back in Mesa last March, and I said, Ladies Dream Golf, fantasy golf, that's very interesting. I've never heard of a concept like that. And we were just talking a little before we went live that this is the 4th year, and I just, I'm mad that I haven't been a part of it yet. So I'm really excited. I think it's just such a neat concept. it's really fun to have, to connect with different people and in this manner. So I'm really looking forward to this year, and just very thankful that you brought me on board.
Well, we're very happy to have you on board. Now, as our resident pro,
Or
Brittany,
president. I'll take president.
as our president, yes, Brittany is going to be our primary beneficiary of the sponsorship for 2016. Now, as I was talking to different players who were interested in Ladies Dream Golf, I met Allie White along the way, and I just cannot pass up on the chance of having her part of this community. And so I actually invented a new role called the Associate Pro, and Allie thankfully accepted that. Now, as our Associate Pro, Allie is going to be writing a blog on the Ladies Dream Golf website, and as you heard earlier, she's planning on playing some fantasy golf with us as well. And Ladies Dream Golf is going to sponsor Allie for her first Symetra Tour event in 2016. And we'll cover 100% of her expenses for that tournament. So allow me to reintroduce Allie White.
Hey!
Yay!
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I was completely enthused that I had the position created for me. Yeah, it's like Brittany was saying, just uber excited and thankful to be a part of the team. And it is a wonderful idea. There's ladies golf and just golf in general is perfectly set up for fantasy sports, and I can't believe people haven't been doing this for 20 years. But for Kelly to and all the Ladies Dream Golf folks to be using this money to go towards us Symetra Tour pros, it's just it's huge for us. It's really, really big deal. And Brittany is going to be a fantastic resident pro, and I'll be, her assistant vice president person backing her up. And, hopefully, although I won't be playing a full season, hopefully I'll be able to get in some pretty good tournaments, and maybe I'll just go out there and win that first one. That'd be great.
Yeah, and Allie, I forgot to mention too that you had a couple of top 10 finishes last year as well, didn't you?
Yeah, had some good ones. I just got to build on that. Yep.
Excellent. So I am waiting for some questions to come in. We have some comments. I'll let you see this, Brittany. You might enjoy this. Kathy M. Waiting for my cousin, Brittany.
Cool. Yeah.
And let's see. Daryl, if you're out there, I'm glad you didn't go down the rabbit hole, but how about posting a question? Just to prove that you did not fall asleep.
Yeah, right.
While we're waiting for Daryl, I want to know, I want both Brittany and Allie to talk for just a minute about what it means to them at a real substantive level to get financial support.
Sure. I guess I'll take that. The Symetra Tour has it's grown every year, the purse sizes and the tournaments, but it's not the winnings out there aren't really enough to sustain you for the entire year. Even the girls that kind of cracked the top 10 last year, or just outside the top 10 and the top 20, maybe made enough to just cover their expenses, and those are the girls that are playing the best. So the funding that we get from different sponsorships, and like the funding that I'm gonna get from Ladies Dream Golf, will actually allow me to just stay out there and competing. Just as simple as that. I mean, because without that funding, even if we're playing well and we're winning tournaments, it's still not enough to sustain a 24 tournament calendar year. So it's just, plain and simple. It's going to keep you competing, and it's going to keep you competing on Symetra, which is basically our way to get onto the LPGA. So without it, you're just waiting on
let's put a number on it. What does it cost to compete?
Well, at the very low end, I mean, that's staying in host housing, no professional caddy, you know, you're driving around in a car with another person splitting gas money, might be eating at some sketchy restaurant, you know, really low end. I'm going to say, Allie knows what I'm talking about.
This is the Allie model.
Yeah. Allie, hey, I just want to mention Allie. Allie has one of the best friends on tour, though. She's got one of the best friends on tour.
That's true.
Low end number, I'm going to go with, for 24 tournaments, I'm going to go about 25,000, maybe 1,000 a tournament. That's really low, and that doesn't, you know, that's no costs outside of the actual tournaments.
Right, because the entry fee alone is $500, right, for each tournament.
Entry fee is $500. So I'm saying, I mean, that's super cheap. I think last year I probably spent around 40, and I didn't have a professional caddy. Professional caddy, you know, flying to different places when you don't want to drive for 20 hours, probably 60,000, 70,000.
So are you girls on food stamps?
Good
No. No, but we have some really good host families that make some pretty good meals.
Yes, the hosts make the difference, for sure. It's
So all right, let's go back to the numbers, just for everybody who's sitting out there. So the ramen noodles budget is somewhere around 25,000 a year.
Yeah.
And what's the average earnings off the tour winnings?
Well, I'll give. What do you think? Average?
Average is not very good.
No, I mean the top is going to be 50,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
And
top
the bottom
The top
zero.
10 are making over 50,000.
Right.
And then, gosh, average you're probably making, if there's 300 some people on tour, you know, only so many people get in the tournament to begin with. And I mean, the average, if you were to just count each entry fee being $500, so subtracting the entry fee, the average would probably be to lose money just based on that. But I mean, average earnings, like what, $5,000? You think maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the top, like if you're making it in the top 10, you're going to make over 50,000 last year when the purses were higher. But it's going to cost you about that much. So those girls probably broke even for their season. 11 through 20 made 40 to 50,000. So they're definitely not breaking even, maybe. And then, you know, 21 and below probably lost quite a bit.
Which is why the sponsorships are huge for us, because I think it's an expectation of our tour that's what we need to do. Like, we are supposed to provide the $500 entry fee, and in theory we need to be getting those from the business world and from that sort of thing, which is why something like Ladies Dream Golf is so huge for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and I would think for the Symetra Tour that's tough because you guys aren't as well known as the LPGA players. You know, even the ones that are winning regularly, they're, you know, I would think that sponsorships are still pretty tough to get.
Yeah, I mean, I've even talked to girls that are just starting out on LPGA, and they're still kind of having the same struggles. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you guys,
I mean, it's definitely a matter of luck and persistence. You know, if you don't have any luck, it's not going to happen for you, and certainly if you're not persistent, it's not going to happen for you.
yeah. I want to bring up a question from Patricia Hannigan. She's also a longtime Ladies Dream golfer and a really good friend of Ladies Dream Golf.
Patricia.
Yeah. So, which venues do players generally look forward to the most? And that might be different for the two of you. So, Allie, you want to answer that one first?
Sure. Yeah, I actually always have a wonderful time, and we play at Harris, Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula. And I think last year, one of the first nights I was up there, I woke up at 1 in the morning and I went and saw the Northern Lights, and ended up just having the best week ever. It's this total small town where the only professional thing that happens, you know, within hundreds of miles. So people really get out there to see you do your thing, and you feel like a big deal. And they treat you like gold. It's fantastic.
Cool. How about you, Brittany?
That's such a tough question. I get that question a lot, but I can think of like 5 different places for 5 different reasons. You know, I have a great host family in Daytona Beach. I really like the golf course in Asheville, and I always play well in Asheville. It's just a really fun town. It's a good atmosphere. And then there's places like Harris where they just make you feel like a superstar. And Arkansas this year, they made the hospitality was like better than an LPGA event. And then I liked the Phoenix event because I got to sleep in my own bed. So you know, kind of a nice perk. It's just it's a combination of the golf course, just your accommodations for the week and how they make you feel. Like really, some tournaments like in South Dakota, they made you feel like a professional, and it's just fun to play. Tullymore had crowds like an LPGA event coming up the 18th
Really?
hole.
Yeah.
Allie, I played with you. That last round. She made a birdie putt on the 18th hole, and it was like she won the U.S. Open. It was like so fun. That's fun for us. So anywhere where the town kind of comes together makes you feel like you're special. It's a fun atmosphere to play in.
Didn't you birdie on top of me on that hole?
I don't know. Don't remember.
So you guys, Alex told me something kind of interesting about a change they're making on the Symetra Tour this year, that they're going to start having cuts at 60 rather than 70.
I forgot about that. That's right.
They've actually made a couple good changes. I'm not sure how that one's going to work out. It'll definitely feel better when you make the cut, because a lot of times you can make the cut and say you make like $200 if you finish down at the bottom of making the cut, and you're like, wow, I made the cut, and I still, if my entry fee was $500, I still lost $300. So.
So do you think that's the idea behind that? Like if they make the cut line 60, will you at least get your money back if you make the cut?
I think that's the idea, right?
Yeah, it's the idea. It's just the idea that if you're 60 to 70, you're not going to make a chunk of money anyway. So they're going to put that extra money into the top 60 and hopefully get those numbers up. But it's a good thought, but I still think the purse is too top heavy anyway, so that the top 10 makes all the money anyway. But I don't know. We'll see kind of how that pans out.
Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Daryl wants to know if either of you are going to be playing in the Firekeeper in Kansas this year.
Daryl's awake.
He is awake.
Daryl. I'm planning on it. I'm planning on playing in everyone. Yeah.
Is that in Kansas City?
Hey, Daryl, is that in Kansas City?
I don't think Daryl's going to answer you.
I think it's probably the same.
Hold on, let me check.
I'm going to Kansas City.
I can check.
I know they changed one.
No, the Firekeepers is in Battle Creek, Michigan.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think I'll be there.
July 18th through 24th. Why, is he going to be there?
Oh, he said it's in Topeka. Are you sure that's a Firekeeper, Daryl?
Well, there's no Topeka.
Yeah, last year the Firekeepers was in Topeka, and this year they moved that event to Kansas City, which tells me I'll be there. I'll be eating barbecue and ready to go.
Hey Beth, do you have some more questions? I know you do.
That's like
I think that what we need to do is put Allie on the road and let her do a little stand up. Yeah, a little stand up.
Oh man. Come on, Beth. I'm nothing without you.
Oh boy, you just don't know what that means to me, Allie.
You and I are gonna have a big year. We're having a big year.
I can feel it coming.
Yep.
Tell me what the strongest part of your game is, Allie.
The strongest part of my game. Oh, I'm thinking. It would probably be. Geez, I guess I'm an all-around. Yeah, I guess it would just be being all around. Like I can hit it far enough that I hit it far enough, and I'm gonna hit enough green that it's good. I can hit any shot around the green. Yeah, but I'm not gonna do everything well every time. That's for sure. But I can do anything. So I guess it's potential.
Can I tell everyone what Allie's best part of her game is?
Yeah.
Bail me out on this one.
Her attitude.
Oh,
This girl is my favorite person to play with on tour because it doesn't matter if she's shooting 65 or 75. She's got the same attitude. It's fun loving. I'm serious. It's like it's fun to play with.
That's awesome.
What about you, Brittany? What's the strongest part of your game?
Um,
And then we'll let Allie answer that.
yeah, Allie. I don't think this always was the strongest part of my game, but I think it is now. I think it's my mental game. I think it's just the way I think around the golf course, and I try and stay in a positive attitude, and it pulls me out of some situations. It helps me keep going if I'm playing well. So I think it's a pretty good asset that I've worked on, and it's gotten to be pretty strong.
So, Allie, what do you think the best part of Brittany's game is?
Oh, jeez. Be nice.
Well, when she gets upset, she can just throw that club for miles. You should see it. That's not it. That's not it. Well, I think she has a really nice shape to her shot. Like, I think she can work it pretty well, and it's a a creativity thing, and I don't think a lot of players that are more straight. Like, I think her creativity just.
I never play a straight shot. That's true.
Yeah, I think she works the ball really well, which is great, especially for tough, tight golf courses that require a lot of thinking. I think she's better than most on those.
Okay, well, and believe it or not, we actually have another person who wants to answer the question of what is the best part of Brittany's game. So I'm going to bring that up.
Alan.
Let me bring that up. Let's see. You are one of the most focused players I have ever caddied for. How do you keep your focus playing so many tournaments?
Alan is the best. Alan was my volunteer caddy 2 years in a row in Asheville, and this year we came in second together there. I will not share Alan's age, but the way he kept up with me on the golf course, I hope I can do that at his age. He's incredible. How do I keep my focus? You don't really keep it. You just have to kind of begin again every tournament and refocus every tournament. Sunday night when I'm done the tournament, I kind of lose focus for all of Monday. I take Monday off, I go see a movie, travel, whatever, and then I call my coach on Tuesday, and it's like game plan for the week. So it's like just kind of a reboot my whole system.
That's cool. So Daryl is still awake, and let's see. He wants to know: have you tried using Game Golf for your rounds? And I actually have tried Game Golf. It's kind of fun. But do you guys know what that is?
No.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so Game. Oops, sorry. Let me get rid of this. So Game Golf is this little GPS device that you attach to your belt or whatever, and then each of your clubs has a little device in it, so that before you hit, you check in with that club, and it records which club you're getting ready to hit with, and then at the end of your round, it maps out your round and it shows how far you hit every single shot, and it actually maps it on a map for you.
I've seen that on the Golf Channel, but I do not. I think my brain would hurt after that.
Do you use any kind of electronic training devices or aids?
Allie?
I'm the least technical person of all time. I remember going to college and they tried to put me on a lot of machines, and I sort of shut down. It was bad. It went badly. Yeah, it was. I'm an English major in college, so I can hardly add at all,
So Allie, we actually have somebody chiming in about you. Let's bring this one up. Apparently, Allie's strength is making playing partners choke on their drinking water. I haven't heard of that tactic.
Sneaky. He's sneaky.
Yeah. Yep.
Is there a story there?
No, I just think You gotta. Sometimes people get the chuckles, out there. I'm pretty. I can, I get focused out there too. You know, in my
You know
defense.
what, Allie? I'm dying to come watch you play because I can't really picture that.
It's definitely in there. I've played a lot of sports in my life, and it's a different, when the ball is out there, it's a different story. You're just trying to win that thing.
Allie, I just got to have you on my pro-am team in Greenwood.
Oh,
I
we're
don't.
doing
I,
it.
I just don't think there's any other thing that can happen besides. I'm gonna have you.
Yeah, I'm game.
I know you are.
What is this one all about, Allie?
Oh, I don't
Oh,
know.
because you said you don't add well.
Ah, got you.
At
So do you
least
have?
some of these, yeah, you got some brain power to catch these jokes. That was a good one, Diana. That was
That
good.
was quick. That was quick.
Yeah, especially
Oh
when it
my
starts
gosh.
going bad. The higher the numbers, the harder it is to add.
Oh my gosh, Beth, I might have to come to Greenwood and play with you guys
Oh, I think you
in
should.
the pro-am. Oh my
Absolutely,
gosh.
Kelly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what, guys? It's already set. It's already 36 minutes in, but this is so much fun. I could go on forever. Um, but I guess we better wrap it up, sadly. I do want to mention that I just opened up the website. So I had it closed today because I wanted to wait until I kind of had made all the announcements before I opened it up. So the brand new 2016 website is open for business. And both Allie and Brittany wrote their first blogs on the site, and they're just a treat. So you guys have a great surprise to go out and check out those blogs because they're very entertaining, as you might imagine, but they're also very personal, and I just they're great. You just go read them. Um, And so this has been so much fun, and I'm just really excited about this year, and I'm excited about everything that's happening. So, Beth, would you like to say any final words as we sign off?
I can hardly wait to get signed up. But Kelly, honest to God, I hope you have some sort of compassionate clause if we all lose power again on the East Coast and aren't able to do our pick four and our miss the cut. I mean,
Well, okay.
and think
Buy that
about
season pass.
those people in the Middle West. Daryl could lose power. He lives out there in the middle of Kansas. He's subject to ice storms. You've got to have some kind of compassionate thing. What with global warming and this
She needs a
nasty
doctor.
weather that we're.
She needs a
Well,
doctor's note.
hey,
Dog
listen,
ate her homework.
I lost so much money last winter because I was without power for 4 crucial days and lost all my make the cut money.
This
And
sounds like a likely story to
yeah,
me.
I am
Dog
honest.
ate my homework.
I know. And Kelly,
You can see how compassionate our pros are for you already, Beth.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Allie wants to
oh
win.
my God!
Well said. Well said, Ellen.
Yep.
Oh, so Brittany, how about some closing words from you?
Oh my gosh, I can't say it enough. I'm so excited just for this reason, for what we're doing right now. It's just, it's fun to me to just be able to connect, to talk, to have community around golf, around these tours. I'm just really looking forward to this year. And don't let Allie get in your head with the fantasy picks. Like she's really, she's good at that stuff. Just
She doesn't stand a
I
chance.
still want everyone to play. Don't let her scare you off. Got a lot of bark, not a lot of bite. But no, it's gonna be a fun year. It's gonna be a fun year.
Oh, thanks, Brittany. And Allie, you get the last word.
Sweet.
Oh no!
Don't be concerned. No, thank you so much for having me. Brittany is gonna kick butt. I'm gonna kick butt. Kelly's awesome. Beth's pretty cool. and I'm gonna win. That's game. That's the last words. The 250 goes to me at least. I mean, if I don't win every week, I mean, we'll see.
We will see. So, okay, with that, we're going to wrap this up. This has been a blast, and we'll see you all out there.
That's right.
Sounds good.
See you guys.
All right.